Hello, everyone, and welcome to Economics and You. I am your host, Mr. Samuelson, and today we are going to be talking about shopping for food or clothing. Starting off, comparison shopping. Because food is a large part of most family budgets, comparison shopping is a really important thing to do. It involves not just what you're purchasing, but where you shop as well. So when comparison shopping, you do need to consider money, of course, but you also want to consider your time. Your time is valuable, and if you are spending a lot of time in this comparison shopping adventure, it might not be worth it. For example, you don't want to add a 30-minute drive each way to your day to save 29 cents a pound on chicken. That is not a good trade-off. Buy the more expensive chicken and have one less stop in your day. But do figure out where your average shopping is going to be less expensive and maybe divide it amongst two stores that are close by. This stuff makes sense. Now, apart from your typical warehouse grocery stores, your Kroger's and whatnot, many Americans shop at club stores and or convenience stores. We're talking about Costco as a club store or a 7-Eleven as a convenience store. Now, club stores like Costco, they sell in bulk. You're going to be walking out with big pallets of a lot of items, but it's much cheaper per unit to buy in bulk at Costco than to buy at your typical stores. Convenience stores, on the other side, are going to be more expensive than a Kroger and certainly more than a Costco. But you can get in and out of a 7-Eleven really easily, and chances are there's some sort of convenience store much closer to where you live. So it's much easier to drop in, spend 10 minutes shopping, and get out with your essentials. Convenient. Farmers markets are another option. A lot of people buy their meat and vegetables and sometimes some other goods, honey and whatnot, at farmers markets. These markets allow consumers to learn a little bit more about where their food is coming from. You get to talk to people who are either the farmers or have that personal connection to the farmers. And you can learn about the process of their farm and what they put into their food directly from the source. Now, farmers markets do, on average, tend to be a little bit more expensive than your traditional grocery stores. This is not always true, and sometimes it is item specific. But you do, on average, wind up spending more at a farmer's market. Flip side is you also are helping support your local economy. The money that goes to the farmer is then going to spend on things in your local economy and help other businesses to thrive. So packaged food brands are another thing to consider. And you often have a lot of options. Brand name products are the ones that you've seen advertised. They're the ones that show up in the coupon section of the newspaper. If you read newspapers, who reads newspapers? I do, but I'm weird. They're television commercials, they're pop-up ads and whatnot. Private label products are not advertised outside of their own store typically. You walk into the store and you see, Whole Foods brand food available right next to the other brands. These private label products are produced by the grocery store that you're purchasing them in, and you won't find them in other places. And they are generally anywhere from a little bit cheaper to quite a bit cheaper to buy. In either case, you do want to always keep in mind that buying a larger amount usually lowers the per unit price. So if you don't mind sinking a little bit more money into your food up front, and if you have a place to store that food at home, buying in bulk is usually a good idea if you want to save a little bit of money. All right, food discounts, other ways to save some money. If you are a particularly price-sensitive shopper, you can always look for coupons. People who spend a little bit of time clipping coupons and always finding the best bargains can take a significant amount of money off of their grocery bill. Though it is important to know that these coupons are almost always for your brand name, more expensive products. So you are buying something that's more expensive and then cutting a little bit of price off of that, maybe bringing it down to the private label prices. Some stores also have loyalty programs or discount cards. Those may be familiar to you if you've been to a grocery store. Using such cards does reduce your overall bill a fair amount. But every time they swipe that card or scan that card, that is tied to your information. And they're keeping track of the type of items that you buy, collecting this data to then target you with advertisements or deals based upon your purchasing habits. That's what the market, the grocery stores are getting in return for giving you these discounts. They're getting access to your data and your shopping habits. So clothing, let's jump into clothing. Comparison shopping is also important when looking for clothing. In addition to price, you do want to consider a few other things, including style, durability, and the long-term cost of care. So style. Clothing styles change. Sometimes they stick around for a few years, and sometimes a style is here and gone. And keeping up with those trends can be very expensive. Like with groceries, stores do often offer their own in-store store brand clothing labels. Target has their own. It's good quality stuff, and you can save your money and update your wardrobe more regularly by getting these store brand clothing labels. It is a good way to keep things up, especially if you don't know if a trend is going to be around long. Don't sink $500 into a new designer whatever when next year it's going to be out of style. All right, durability. When do you sink more money into something? Well, if it's durable and if you're not too worried about the fashion or the style lasting. Durable, well-made clothes should be a factor, right? You want to get good durability in certain items. For example, well-made jacket. This is a Carhartt jacket. They make really good jackets. They're more expensive than just something you would get off the rack at Target. But if you get a well-made $300 jacket and it's going to last you 6 or 10 years, that is a good buy. You're going to get a lot of use out of that $300. If, on the other hand, you bought a poorly made $100 jacket that lasted you a year, all right, it was less expensive, and maybe you only had $100 for a jacket. But in the long term, that's going to cost you a lot more money. All right, cost of care is another thing to consider. We want to make sure that we're reading our labels and seeing what our clothes need to be maintained properly. If you have 2 shirts that cost about the same amount of money, look about the same, they seem very equal, but one requires dry cleaning and the other can be machine washed, the dry cleaning shirt is going to cost a lot more money in the long run. Items that require hand washing, they're not going to cost you more money to do hand washing, but it does cost time. And remember that time is another one of those resources that you want to be sensitive to when you're shopping. All right, sales and online shopping. Cost of clothing has been going down steadily for a long time now. It's no longer a huge chunk of most people's budgets, but it can still be expensive. And if we're smart about how we shop, we can save some money. So savvy buyers frequently save a lot by purchasing clothes on sale in the off-season. Buy your summer clothes at the beginning of fall when stores want to get rid of their summer clothes. Buy your winter clothes in March when stores are getting rid of the winter clothes to get ready for the summer clothes. You can get these at steep discounts, and yeah, you don't wear them right away, but now you've got a wardrobe for the next season at half price, ready to go. Another way to save money is online shopping. Online shopping just makes comparison shopping really easily. You can have an idea about what you want and very quickly check prices by jumping to different store websites or by going to a retailer like Amazon and just checking the prices across a lot of sites all at once. These are great ways to save money. Consignment stores are kind of the ultimate way to save money. Consignment stores specialize in selling used clothing. Now, these stores are a great way to find good quality used clothing at low prices. These stores don't usually accept stuff that's at really bad quality, so it's going to be decent clothes with a good selection. It's also a really good way to make some money on your old clothes. Take, lightly used good clothing into a consignment store, and you will get some cash for those clothes. All right, that is all for today. I do hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you next time. Farewell.